The Coconut Oil Miracle 5th Edition by Spruce Fife. Fiction triumphs over fact. Meanwhile, tropical oil exporters from Malaysia prepared a public relations campaign against what they called vicious scare tactics being used against their product. The tropical oil war was in full swing. At stake was the $3 billion a year vegetable oil market in the United States, where the dominant domestic soy oil producers had launched a vicious propaganda war against foreign competitors. The tropical oil industry, having few allies and comparatively little financial muscle to retaliate, couldn't match the combined efforts of the ASA, the CSPI, and others. Few would listen to the lone voices protesting the decimation of false information attacking tropical oils. When the attack on coconut oil began, those medical and research professionals who were familiar with it wondered why. They knew coconut oil did not contribute to heart disease and that it provided many health advantages. Some even stepped forward to set the record straight. By this time, however, public sentiment had firmly sided with the ASA, and people refused to listen. Researchers familiar with tropical oils were called on to testify at Senate hearings on the health implication of these products. Coconut oil has a neutral effect on blood cholesterol, even in situations where coconut oil is the sole source of fat, reported Dr. George Blackburn, a Harvard Medical School researcher who testified at a congressional hearing about tropical oils held on June 21st, 1988. I was almost born. These tropical oils have been consumed as a substantial part of the diet of many groups for thousands of years, with absolutely no evidence of any harmful effects to the populations consuming them, said Mary G. Enig, PhD, an expert on fats and oils and a former research associate at the University of Maryland. Dr. C. Everett Koop, former Surgeon General of the United States, called the tropical oil scare foolishness. Commercial interests either trying to divert blame to others or ignorantly following the saturated fat hysteria were terrorizing the public about nothing. COVID-19. Dr. David Klurfeld, chairman of the Department of Nutrition and Food Science at Wayne State University, called the anti-tropical oils campaign public relations mumbo-jumbo. He pointed out that tropical oils amounted to only about 2% of the American diet, and that even if they are as bad as the ASA claimed, they wouldn't have much of effect on health. The amount of tropical oils in the U.S. diet is so low that there are no reason to worry about it. The countries with the highest palm oil intakes in the world are Costa Rica and Malaysia. Their heart disease rates and serum cholesterol levels are much lower than in Western nations. This tropical oil scare never was a real health issue. Despite the testimonials of respected medical professionals and lipid researchers, the media paid little attention. The saturated fat crisis was news, and that got headlines. Major newspapers and televisions and radio networks picked up the anti-saturated fat ads and developed alarming news stories. One story was titled, "The Oil from Hell." Those who knew the truth about the coconut oil were ignored and even criticized by those brainwashed by the media blitz. Because of the frenzy stirred up by the ASA and their friends, the fictional message they trumpeted won out over scientific fact. Wow, that sounds a lot like 2020. All right, that's it for today. We're going to do a different one. Curse of trans fatty acids tomorrow.